Liverpool set to lose midfield maestro to Tottenham. Ryan Gravenberch's incredible impact and the looming threat of Johnny Cardoso's departure in football, change is the only constant. Clubs are always looking for the next breakthrough player, one who can lift their squad and take them to the next level. For Liverpool this season, one of the players who has exceeded expectations and emerged as a key figure is Ryan Gravenberch. Her summer acquisition that many initially viewed with skepticism, Gravenberch has proven to be a revelation, especially in the defensive midfield role. But now, amid Liverpool's pursuit of reinforcements, a new challenge looms. The club is set to lose another highly sought-after midfield prospect, Johnny Cardoso, to their Premier League rivals, Tottenham Hotspur. Ryan Gravenberch's emergence at Liverpool. When Ryan Gravenberch arrived at Liverpool, many questioned whether the young Dutchman could meet the demands of a team striving for greatness in both domestic and European competitions. At just 22 years old, Gravenberch had already shown promise at Ajax, but could he thrive in the rigorous atmosphere of the Premier League? The answer, as it turns out, has been a resounding yes. Gravenberch has been nothing short of sensational this season, carving out a pivotal role in Liverpool's midfield. More specifically, he has redefined the defensive midfield position for the Reds, providing a solid anchor in the centre of the park. Liverpool had long struggled to find the right balance in this area, with the likes of Jordan Henderson and Fabinho unable to provide consistent performances in recent seasons. But Gravenberch's arrival has brought a fresh dimension to Liverpool's midfield, offering a mix of dynamism, vision and steel. His ability to break up opposition attacks, recycle possession, and contribute to Liverpool's offensive transitions has made him an essential component of Jurgen Klopp's side. With the ball at his feet, Gravenberch possesses an impressive passing range, while his physicality and work rate make him a perfect fit for the high-intensity style Klopp demands. His defensive discipline has particularly stood out, as he constantly tracks back to shield the defense and snuffs out danger before it can develop. One of the biggest surprises has been his ability to play a near-constant role in Liverpool's midfield rotation. Given that Liverpool's games come thick and fast, with fixtures often every 3 days, Gravenberch's consistent performance despite the heavy workload has been remarkable. He has seamlessly adapted to playing this demanding role, providing Liverpool with a much-needed stability in a key area of the pitch. However, as with many players who play a central role in high-caliber teams, Gravenberch's continued involvement in every match may not be sustainable in the long term. Liverpool's midfield depth has been an ongoing concern for Klopp and the club's decision-makers. While Gravenberch has been superb, the lack of quality alternatives behind him means that the club is light in this crucial position. Liverpool's midfield depth issues. Tyler Morton, one of Liverpool's youth prospects, has stepped up when called upon and showcased promise in certain matches. However, Morton is still in the early stages of his career and continues to deal with injuries that have hampered his progress. This lack of depth has led to an increased reliance on Gravenberch, and while the Dutchman's performances have been top-notch, the club's coaching staff would prefer to avoid overburdening him with too much responsibility. Wataru Endo, brought in during the summer, has become a fan favourite. His experience and work ethic have made him a dependable squad player, but it's clear that Endo isn't the long-term solution in the midfield. At 30 years old, he may not be able to contribute the kind of consistent performances Liverpool will need over the next several years. This highlights the growing need for Liverpool to find a more permanent solution for their midfield depth issues. In light of these concerns, the club has begun actively scouting for additional reinforcements in the transfer market. Players such as Martin Zubimendi of Real Sociedad have been linked with a move to Anfield. Zubimendi, a player highly regarded for his excellent passing range, defensive awareness and technical ability, could slot straight into the starting lineup. The Spanish international would be a welcome addition to a midfield that still requires more depth to match the demands of competing at the highest level. Liverpool's midfield depth issues. Tyler Morton, one of Liverpool's youth prospects, has stepped up when called upon and showcased promise in certain matches. However, Morton is still in the early stages of his career and continues to deal with injuries that have hampered his progress. This lack of depth has led to an increased reliance on Gravenberch, And while the Dutchman's performances have been top-notch, the club's coaching staff would prefer to avoid overburdening him with too much responsibility. Wataru Endo, brought in during the summer, has become a fan favourite. His experience and work ethic have made him a dependable squad player. But it's clear that Endo isn't the long-term solution in the midfield. At 30 years old, he may not be able to contribute the kind of consistent performances Liverpool will need over the next several years. This highlights the growing need for Liverpool to find a more permanent solution for their midfield depth issues. In light of these concerns, the club has begun actively scouting for additional reinforcements in the transfer market. Players such as Martin Zubimendi of Real Sociedad have been linked with a move to Anfield. Zubimendi, a player highly regarded for his excellent passing range, defensive awareness and technical ability, could slot straight into the starting lineup. The Spanish international would be a welcome addition to a midfield that still requires more depth to match the demands of competing at the highest level. Johnny Cardoso, the missed opportunity. In addition to Zubimendi, Liverpool had been keeping an eye on another emerging midfield talent in the form of Johnny Cardoso. The 23-year-old American has had an excellent spell at Real Betis since his move from Brazilian side International, making a name for himself in La Liga with his composed style of play, strong defensive contributions, and impressive ball retention skills. Cardoso's development has been rapid, and it wasn't long before the scouting networks of major European clubs, including Liverpool, took notice. Cardoso's playing style and potential made him an intriguing option for Liverpool, especially as the club sought to add depth and competition to its midfield. But in a twist that caught many off guard, it is Tottenham Hotspur, rather than Liverpool, that seems set to win the race for Cardoso's signature. Tottenham, having recently sold Giovanni Lo Celso to Real Betis, included a non-mandatory purchase clause worth $21 million in their deal. This clause was included as part of the agreement, providing Betis with the option to sign Cardoso permanently at the end of the season. The fee, set at $21 million, is relatively modest, given the young American's potential and current form. Despite Cardoso recently agreeing to a new contract with Real Betis, which runs until 2030, Tottenham is now poised to activate this clause, meaning Liverpool's hopes of securing the talented midfielder could be dashed. Football Insider's Peter O'Rourke recently reported that Tottenham intends to trigger the purchase option after the conclusion of this season, making Cardoso one of their key acquisitions. It's a frustrating development for Liverpool, as Cardoso had the potential to provide valuable depth and cover in midfield. He could have been a player who would seamlessly slot into Klopp's squad, capable of contributing both in terms of rotation and development over the long term. The American's combative yet composed style of play would have made him a perfect addition to the Liverpool midfield, which could have benefited from his energy, versatility, and defensive contributions. Instead, it now seems likely that Liverpool will face Cardoso twice a season, as he joins a Tottenham Hotspur side, looking to rebuild under the guidance of manager Ange Postecoglou. Tottenham's season has been turbulent so far, with inconsistent performances and disappointing results, including their recent collapse in the League Cup semi-final against Liverpool. However, with the promise of Cardoso's arrival, Spurs will hope that the midfielder can add balance and solidity to their midfield, providing them with the kind of stability they have been lacking. The impact of Cardoso's move on Liverpool. The loss of Cardoso to a direct rival like Tottenham is undeniably a setback for Liverpool. With the club already facing challenges in maintaining depth in midfield, the arrival of a promising player like Cardoso would have provided some much-needed competition and cover for Gravenberch. The situation now places additional pressure on Liverpool's transfer strategy, and the club must explore alternative options to bolster its midfield ranks. The setback also highlights the highly competitive nature of the Premier League and the difficulty in securing young talents who can have an immediate impact. The race for midfield reinforcements is fierce, with clubs such as Tottenham, Arsenal and Manchester United all keen to secure players who can strengthen their squads. For Liverpool, missing out on Cardoso is a blow, but it is unlikely to be the end of their search for the perfect midfield addition. Liverpool's pursuit of depth in midfield will undoubtedly continue, with Zubimendi, along with other potential targets likely to remain on their radar. The priority will be finding a player who can not only offer support in the short term, but also help build for the future, ensuring that Liverpool maintains its competitive edge in both the Premier League and Europe. Conclusion: Ryan Gravenberch has been a shining star for Liverpool this season, quickly becoming one of the most important players in the squad. His exceptional performances in midfield have plugged a gap that Liverpool had long struggled to fill, and his role in the team will only become more crucial as the season progresses. However, the club's lack of depth in midfield continues to be a concern, with Gravenberch playing an exhausting number of games every few days. While players like Tyler Morton and Wataru Endo offer some support, neither represents a long-term solution to the club's midfield woes. The pursuit of Johnny Cardoso was an attempt to address this issue, but with Tottenham Hotspur now set to secure the American signature, Liverpool will have to look elsewhere for reinforcement. The club must act quickly to ensure they are not left behind in the race for talent, and their scouting network will need to identify the next player capable of making a significant impact. For now, Liverpool fans will watch with bated breath, hoping that their club can weather this setback and continue to strengthen their squad for the future.